My Academy Awards brother for life, Adnan Virk, joins the show. How are you, my friend?
I'm doing great, Ben. Congrats on the gig, on the return. I had the pleasure of talking to Rich, actually, when I did a show on Peacock called Winter Gold during the Olympics. And I said, hey, Rich, I love you, but I love when Ben Lyons fills it even more. So I hope he's enjoying his pasta. It's great to reunite as always, buddy.
Thanks, Adnan, for being a friend and my publicist. I appreciate it. I want to talk movies. I want to talk baseball, but I want to talk tennis out of the gates. Your buddy Roger Federer, no longer the GOAT, huh?
Devastating news to see Djokovic win yesterday, although I will fight that what you just said about him no longer being the GOAT, because there are many different qualifications saying someone is the best. As you know, I have no interest in golf, but you love golf. Now, if somebody argues in golf, somebody is the best player ever only because of majors, well, that's just one criteria. Now, that may be the right criteria, but I'm just saying it's only one. Nicholas is 18, and, of course, Tiger, Arnie, et cetera. But as Van Pelt has told me many a time, there are people who argue Arnold Palmer is still the greatest golfer of all time. In hockey, Gretzky obliterates the competition when it comes to points. But there are people of a certain age who say Gordie Howe is still the best, and Bobby Orr revolutionized the game. So, to your point, yes, in order just by majors, Nadal is 22, Djokovic is 21, Federer has 20. But if you want to argue appeal of the game, impact of the game, popularity of the game, most beloved by the game, most money won, most tournaments won, then Federer is still very much in the conversation.
Very fired up, Adnan Virk joining the show, which I knew I'd get him going with the tennis talk. What is it about Federer that has you so enamored with this man?
There's a great article, Ben, by David Foster Wallace. It's called Federer as Religious Experience. It's a brilliant article, and I, like many, enjoy the pilgrimage and the worship of Federer. And I think it comes down to this very essence. He makes greatness look so effortless. And I think the athletes that we most admire, you generally appreciate the fact they've got that clutch gene and they can do it without breaking a sweat. Nadal is admired and envied by many, but he looks like a bull in a china shop. He's literally snorting the entire time. He looks like he's wringing every ounce of energy from his body. And that can certainly be appealing to some. But if you look at Gretzky, if you look at Jordan, if you look at Federer, these guys seem to do it without breaking a sweat. And I think particularly in tennis, which is a really aesthetically pleasing game, if you really love tennis like I do, you can appreciate the beauty of the game. And there's never been anyone who makes the game look as beautiful as Roger Federer.
Talking about effortless, the way that Adnan can go from Oscar talk to MLB, NHL Network I saw on the screen just now. I forgot that he works with them. Like, you're able to touch on so many different things that you're passionate about. Right now in the world of baseball, what's the biggest story for you heading into the All-Star break?
I think it's Ohtani again, Ben. I know people go same old, but listen, the Angels are having another miserable season. They look like a playoff team the first month or so, but then had a calamitous 14-game losing streak, and they're not going to be making the playoffs. But Ohtani is still remarkable. As they cough it up, he is sublime. His pitching numbers, he's pitching even better this year than he was last year. ERA's but a half run lower. He's walking less, and he's striking out more. He's on pace to strike out 207 batters over 150 innings. That's impressive, right? And offensively, a year ago he had 45 home runs. He's not on pace for that. He's only on pace for 38 home runs and 100 RBI. As John Heyman said to me, as a hitter, he's J.D. Martinez. And as a pitcher, he might be Garrett Cole. Garrett Cole makes $36 million a year. J.D. Martinez makes $24. Well, then Ohtani should be getting $50 million a year. He's the best bargain in sports. He makes $5 million a year. It's incredible the Angels have such a steal in Ohtani, and yet they're not even close to the playoffs. They're paying $30-plus million to Trout, who's incredible, but $30-plus million to Rendon, who's also hurt. So that's a real disappointment. But I also think, Ben, big markets are crushing it. The Yankees are the best team in baseball and the most popular team, arguably, in American sports. The Mets are in first place in the NL East, although the Braves World Series champions are coming. They're a game and a half back, huge three-game series tonight. Scherzer pitching for New York. And your beloved Dodgers are the class of the NL West. They were tied with the Padres a few weeks ago, but L.A. flexing their muscle. Big market teams bringing it right now in baseball.
Yeah, great to see Clayton Kershaw back in the All-Star game as well, 9th time in his career. Adnan, we switch gears now once again from the world of baseball to the world of movies. You're the biggest Tom Cruise hater on the planet. What is happening?
Yeah, I was going into hives there, having to listen to that rejoin there from Rob Lowe extolling his virtues. As I've said all along.
See?
There's no denying.
Oh.
What's that?
No, we lost you. As I said all along, dramatic pause, the phone goes out. I guess Tom Cruise is in the back cutting the wires.
Uh-oh.
Oh, no. Oh, no, Adnan. We lost Adnan. See?
Hold on.
Adnan.
You can't besmirch Cruz, man.
Adnan sounds like he's being held like captive and needs Tom Cruise to come rescue him.
Just have him call back.
Just have him call like...
Wait, is he
Tom
back?
Cruise getting
Yeah, the Mission Impossible. That's a bummer. That's a bummer. But I love this man because he can literally talk Roger Federer with like expert analysis as a top tennis analyst would, and he can switch gears and break down what's happening in baseball. And that is ridiculous that Ohtani's only making $5 million a year. Like, he should be getting 55.
Well, he'll be getting a lot more than that in 2 years.
We're going
when
to
he's
figure
with
that
the
out.
Mets.
And then he switched gears and we can talk some golf and
All right,
we can
hold
talk
on,
some
Ed.
movies or all that stuff. Do we have
Hold
this
on.
man back?
Yeah, he's back.
We got the Dixie cups and the string connected now. All right, we got Adnan back. What's up, buddy? You were talking about how Tom Cruise is the greatest movie star of all time, and we lost you.
Paul Newman is rolling over in his grave as you say that. But Tom Cruise, it's undeniable his charisma and his longevity. The fact he's been a movie star for almost 40 years is awfully impressive. But he is a horrific human being. When I saw your tweets and you and your dad saw Top Gun a preview screening and Tom Cruise rocks, I almost had to say delete your account, Ben. This guy, and if there's one person out there, this is all I do. Every single time I go on these screens against Cruise, if I change one person's mind and go watch Going Clear, the case against Scientology, that's a brilliant documentary by Alex Gibney, and it changed my life. Prior to seeing that documentary, if you asked me about Tom Cruise, I would have said, I think he's a little overrated, but hey, I love Magnolia. He worked with Scorsese in Color of Money. He certainly had a great career. I think he's an overrated actor, but yes, he's a movie star. I watched that documentary. I said, listen, you cannot separate fact from fiction. This guy is a reprehensible human being. And that documentary by Gibney is incredible. And God bless Leah Remini, who when Top Gun, everyone's tweeting about it, oh, what a great film. She goes, hey, don't forget what Tom Cruise stands for. And this is why he is vile, because Scientology abuses people. They treat people horribly, and when you try to leave, they cause irreparable damage to your life. And you say, what's that to do with Tom Cruise? He's just a member of Scientology. He doesn't run the thing. And I say, come on. David Miscavige runs it. Tom Cruise is his right-hand man. If Cruise came out once, Ben, and said, hey, listen, you guys got to knock this off. Stop treating people so poorly if they don't want to be Scientologists. Allow them to leave. You should be able to leave any religion you want. And that's not a religion. It's a cult anyways. But instead, this behavior exists. And watch 1 hour and 50 minutes of Going Clear. The great Paul Haggis. You always defend the fact that Crash won Best Picture, even though I think it was a joke and Brokeback Mountain should have won. But Haggis is brilliant. He's Canadian. He wrote $1 Million Baby. He's a former Scientologist, and he's amazing in that documentary. He talks about the horrible things these people do. And the fact that Cruise turns a blind eye to it, I can't turn a blind eye to it. And normally you and I can watch films, and we can separate who these people are. Yes, they can be adulterers. Yes, they're drug addicts. Yes, they're not perfect people. But what Cruise stands for to me is beyond vile. And that's why I watched Top Gun 2, and I'll tell you right now, it's a perfectly adequate movie. Okay, this Best Picture talk is nonsense. It is melodramatic, it's predictable, and I get that it's fun. You want to go enjoy the film, by all means. But please go watch Going Clear and make my day and see what this guy stands for.
Adnan Virk joining the show, fired up.
Wow,
I appreciate you so much, Adnan. I really do. You put the big picture in perspective. And, this is a question that we have to ask ourselves across the way we consume art, the way we watch sports, the way the people we vote for in politics. There's so much of this stuff that gets blurred. And I understand. You even mentioned Paul Haggis. Paul Haggis is not, necessarily the best person to mention in that defense of your argument as well right now.
You're right. He's not immune either. He's faced issues with regards to sexual assault. And people say, listen, well, how do you pick and choose? Well, you have to look at each person and each egregious violation. Ben, as you know, I love Broadway. I took my wife to see Beetlejuice on her birthday. I was appalled that MJ the Musical is still happening. I'm like, are you kidding me? Speaking of documentaries, go watch Finding Neverland and see what Michael Jackson did. I can't believe anybody could sit and watch a Woody Allen movie. You, me, and your father know how funny he is. We know how brilliant he is as an auteur. But if you watch and learn anything that Woody Allen's done, you go, how could you possibly support this guy's work? So, again, that doesn't mean you castigate every single person in Hollywood, but I do think you have to make that personal choice and say, all right, what can I stand with? What can I separate between art and art for its sake? And certainly for a few people at least, I can't take it.
I'm just very happy, Adnan, genuinely so, that you're taking your wife to see something fun in the city, because usually you go to New York for religious persecution movies, and that would have been a really tough birthday for her.
You'll love this even more, Ben. I'd never seen Moulin Rouge. It's one of her favorite movies. So for Valentine's Day, I surprised her by going to see Moulin Rouge, the musical, and I doubled down by watching the movie the night before. You'll be stunned by this. I liked it. I was stunned. I said, there's no way I'm going to like this Baz Luhrmann melodrama, this romantic artifice. I did like the first half. I thought it was hilarious. Jim Broadbent's hilarious. He's got great razzle-dazzle. As you and I know, when it comes to Baz Luhrmann, it's more style than substance. But Moulin Rouge, I can see why people love that movie so much, and the musical is terrific. And as much as I'm deploring all the people talking about Top Gun for Oscar talk, I will bang the drum slowly for Elvis. Again, I was skeptical because Baz can be more style than substance, but we need more directors like this, Ben. He takes big chances, big swings. I thought Austin Butler gave a star-making performance as the king. Production design, costume design. You and I know how hard it is for music biopics to cut through for the Oscars. Look at Rocket Man a few years ago. Summer release, snubbed by the Oscars. I'd love to see Elvis get some love. I give it 3.5 Maple Leafs. How about my major quibble? The movie is one of America's favorite actors. I thought Tom Hanks was the worst part of the movie, and I love Tom Hanks. But he was drowning in latex, horrible accent as the Colonel. But go check out Elvis. I thought it was a heck of a movie.
Adnan, you got so much going on this summer, covering Major League Baseball, covering big summer movies. But the big thing in your household this year was your oldest graduated 8th grade, and he did something to send you a little tribute, which I thought was very nice.
Oh, thanks for mentioning, Ben. Yes, young Yusuf graduating 8th grade. And shout out to my son, Dean. He graduated elementary school, and my Shaz is 5. He graduated preschool. Little Maz still in preschool, but very proud of all 4 Virk boys, but very cool of Yusuf. On the graduation day, he didn't tell me. My parents were visiting. They came down just to see his graduation, 8-hour drive from Toronto. My sister-in-law flew into town just to see him. And everybody up there is dressed beautifully. I mean, these are 13-year-old kids. They look so smart and sharp and beaming. And he put on my fedora. He had my fedora and his crummy sunglasses, and he looked great. I thought, what a great tribute. He's wearing his dad's fedora. And when he went to the front, Ben, the teacher said, hey, you can't wear a hat for the picture. He said, okay, I'll take it off for the picture. But when they call my name, I'm wearing my dad's hat. It was a really, really proud moment. So I like any student who sticks it to school administrations and does whatever they want. Let people be who they want to be, right? I want to wear my dad's fedora, damn it. I'm going to do it.
Very cool. Very cool. Congrats to him. Congrats to you. And I love that you're developing a signature look. It's like a Richard Schiff fedora. It's like an Adnan Virk hat is now a thing. It's very cool. I'll talk to you soon, my man. Thanks for checking in.
Ben, I appreciate it, man. Normally people go fedoras when you're bald, but I said, listen, I think it's a good look no matter what. So I hope you and I reunite sometime soon, and we're both wearing fedoras to go check out a flick.
No, I will never wear a hat that is not sports related. I just can't pull it off. I'm sorry. I can't do Coachella in the wintertime. Sorry, bro. Appreciate you, Adnan.
Ben, you're the best. Have a great show. Talk soon, pal.